So, Sam, we've been working together now we're into our second year of working together.
Yes.
Gone so quickly, hasn't it?
It feels like forever, but in a positive way. I feel like I've always known you.
Oh, it's great. And when we first started working together, you embarked upon the Leadership Coach-sulting Programme, which is a 2-term programme. We can talk about that in a minute. Yeah. But first, can you just probably talk a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in education, where you're based, etc., etc.?
Yeah, so I have worked in education for about 23 years, although obviously I started when I was 16 because I look so young.
Clearly. I love you.
I've worked in education for probably about 23 years, and that's in various roles, from working for the local authority. So I was a consultant for the local authority, to headship, which is this is my 3rd year. And I was really, really lucky that I started my first headship the term before COVID. So it has been a very sharp, steep learning curve.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done a huge variety of roles. I've been a director of English across a trust. I've worked in lots of trusts as well as the local authority. And at the minute, I am head teacher in a trust school, church school, right in the middle of a city. So we are incredibly diverse, small school. Things are always changing. But yeah, we are really in the I can see the city centre from my window. That's how in this city we are. Yeah.
Great. And I know you've done massive amounts of work with the school and made huge improvements over the 3 years you've been there. And
the benefit of taking on a school that was deemed inadequate is the only way is up. I mean, really, it is the only way is up. But we have done so much work. It's been transformational in school. It really has. It's a beautiful place to work.
It is, and I've been in, and it is a fabulous school and a good school. And Ofsted will find that out when they decide to descend upon you.
Fingers very firmly crossed, they will.
In the future, yeah. So, okay, how have you found working with me over the last sort of year and a half?
Yeah. Well, I've loved every minute of working with you, I have to say. First of all, you are so supportive. No matter what the issue, you're always there. You've always, you're totally non-judgmental. But what I do like about you as well is you are challenging. You will ask those difficult questions where needed. Safe pair of ears. So I can tell you pretty much anything. But the other thing as well for me has been inspiring. In my situation, head teachers, it's a very lonely job. So sometimes having you to bounce ideas off is just brilliant. And the things that between the two of us we've created that have happened in school.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. And I come away from each session feeling reinvigorated. Remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing. And for the past 2 years, that has been difficult through COVID. But I do actually remember this is why I'm doing it. This is exciting.
Right. That's brilliant. And I've loved every session that we've had together.
Thank you.
So you've recently participated in the Leadership Coach-sulting Programme. Well, that's certainly how our journey began.
Yeah.
How did you find the programme?
So it's probably the first programme I can honestly, hand on heart, say has had an impact on my practice. Because I'm so old, I have done a variety of different programmes, like leading from the middle and all of the different things that the government brought in. And you kind of go through the motions almost. This has actually impacted on my day-to-day practice, my school, my well-being. It gave me a structure to work through. It gave me the opportunity to really truly reflect on me. And although at first, when you do the 360, all you see is your negatives, right? You focus on your negatives.
Goes to the negatives
it's
first.
Like, oh, look at me, I can't do this, I can't do this. But actually what it did, it pointed out things that I could really work on. And that meant that it actually did have an impact on my practice because I could go away. So one of the things it said is I'm not highly organised. I kind of knew that, but I didn't really acknowledge that. And I'm not good at prioritising tasks and using my time effectively. I'm too busy with people, which, is part of my job, but it's not all of my job. And so that really pointed that out. It made it really, really clear. And I did go away and do something about that. And therefore, I feel like I've moved the school on more. I feel like I am more in control. I don't feel as stressed. I've got my techniques now as well. So actually, yeah, it was a wonderful opportunity to really deeply reflect on me as a leader and me as a person. It was brilliant, really, really good. So thank you.
And let's not forget all the amazing strengths that came out of the review as well.
They did as well. Yes, they
Just
did as
to
well.
remind you of those. That
was
massive
lovely.
list.
And yeah, it's like you say, you go straight to the negatives, but there was a huge list of things, and that again, that was really positive. You know, I knew that I wasn't doing too much wrong. You know, that I was going in the right direction, and that for me was really important validation as well, because you don't get that validation, do you, in education generally?
And how did it feel doing the 360 in the way that you did it with an external person and actually having the space to talk through it in detail? Because I know that other programs do 360s.
Yeah.
From what my own experiences as a head, you tend to get the information cold and that's it, and you're left to look at it yourself.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to share it with other senior leaders in your establishment.
And that's the bonus about working with you, is that it is somebody who is away from the situation I'm in. So it's okay having weaknesses. It's okay being honest about, I felt I could say to you that I didn't know something, I didn't understand something, or ask you questions about how to approach it. So I could be vulnerable with you. And that's something that you don't always feel like you can within a trust.
Yeah.
Or within a school. But also the fact that you did come back and we worked through, it's very personalised. It's almost forensic in the way we went through things, and the targets were very personal, and it did mean that it impacted on practice in school. It impacted on my day-to-day. And like you said before, when I've done these kind of 360s, it gives you normally a label. So it'll say you are a so-and-so, or this is the famous person you're like I was like Elton John when I did one. Didn't really move my leadership forward, but it was good for, for conversation. But this, because it was so forensic and it was very, very specific, working with you, we did cover those targets. The targets were chosen by me, but we did cover them. I could see the trail of what we did and how we improved and the impact it had across school and for me. And that was invaluable. Really, really was.
Brilliant. And in terms of your leadership generally, then, you've mentioned a couple of things that you feel that the programme supported with in terms of your development. Is there anything else as a leader you think going through the programme helped you with?
Loads of things. I mean, one of the things it's developed is my approaches to certain tasks. So there's been a few times where, because I guess because I'm early on in my headship, is I try to do too much myself. So you do everything yourself. Well, talking to you and working through this programme, I developed approaches and strategies that meant that I included all stakeholders. Particularly like when we rewrote the vision, when we redeveloped the curriculum, when I'm looking at MSF. So I now have those structures and approaches, and I know how to include all stakeholders. I don't feel as alone with things. I feel I feel like I'm empowering everybody, which I don't think I was doing fully anyway. Well-being wise, you gave me this fantastic list very early on. I can't remember what it's called. 7 strategies for keeping calm.
Yes.
We all go through situations where there is a person or a situation where you are triggered somewhat.
Yeah.
You don't know how to respond, or they make you respond potentially in a way you don't want to. So using some of those strategies meant I could get myself ready for what would have been very difficult conversations, and were, but I felt I could be more me, more present in the moment, and not likely to lose my job. I mean, things like the development of the curriculum, I really genuinely would not have done without working with you. It was something that I knew the curriculum needed to be better. It needed to be more purposeful. It needed to be more relevant. And working with you gave me the ideas, because you are that ideas person. You know, we bounce ideas off each other all the time. And because I had a timeline of when I was meeting you next, I actually went away and did those tasks. It's not like you hold me to account like a CEO or whatever, but it was that sense of accountability. I wanted to come back to you and say, I've done this, 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 and this. And it did give me that really good structure that meant the curriculum is now really strong. And I genuinely
with your curriculum, haven't you?
I genuinely wouldn't have done that within that time frame. And I feel like I got a lot more done, a lot quicker.
Fantastic.
Not too much thinking, more doing.
Yeah, lots of we've done lots of action plans along the way, haven't we? And that was a really big one. Still moving forward into September with the last time we met, talking about the geography.
Exactly.
Person. Got that all ready now to rock and roll in September, which is fantastic. Okay, in terms of challenges then, obviously as a head teacher, you're constantly spinning plates, very often having to firefight, and unfortunately at times the strategic stuff does have to be put on hold for a while when challenges do emerge. How do you use the sessions to help you to navigate challenges, would you say?
Because I've had this time, it's like a precious time. It's like an hour that nobody can take away from me. It's worked on varying levels. So for my well-being, you know, it's been amazing. It's helped me to refocus and to sometimes clear away all the gubbins that I don't really need to be thinking about. So when I've been burdened, you've kind of helped me to clarify what I need to be focusing on or what I should be focusing on, and then ways of doing it. And it's precious. It's precious, a precious hour that totally focuses on me. And you just don't ever get that. You know, you never get that.
Headship is very time poor, isn't it? So
it is very lonely, and you are always giving of yourself. Well, this is the time where I feel like I get something back speaking to you, you know, instead of me always giving of myself or giving my ideas or whatever, you are there to give to me. And, you know, it's it's my selfish time.
Good. And I suppose finally then, what do you think are the benefits of being coached by an independent external coach rather than somebody from within the organisation?
Yeah, well, it's that I have no fear of showing any weakness with you. And because of that, I think you do address deeper down issues. You know, in situations I've been in before, it's almost like a job interview, isn't it? What's your weakness? Oh, my weakness is I'm a perfectionist, you know, and actually, no. So I don't have a fear of being vulnerable, and therefore we really do feel like I've tackled issues that I needed to tackle. And I feel better because of that. And you bring a whole different mindset to things because you're not part of the organisation. You therefore do challenge some of the ways that we think or have thought in different situations. And that, I mean, that particularly when we sort of sparred with creativity has just been wonderful because you almost have no boundaries, you know, you're not confined to the way we have always done things.
That's true.
So on lots of different levels, that I'm not afraid of being vulnerable with you. And your approaches and your thoughts are not confined to the way we do things. So yeah, totally invaluable.
Well, thanks for your time today, Sam, and it's been great working with you. It really has.
Thank you. You too.